Hi my swooners, I hope you're having a great month, week or day and that positivity is coming your way. This week's video is another Swoonworthy releases March edition. This time I'll be talking about my 5 most anticipated releases in the month of March, and I will be talking about some honourable mentions towards the end. Before we move on to the video, just a quick plea from me. If you like my content, please follow me on my Twitter, TikTok and Instagram, where I talk about more books and just post more bookish content. Now let's talk about some Swoonworthy releases. So the first book I'll be talking about is The Secret Lives of Countrymen by K.J. Charles. This book releases on the 7th of March. Abandoned by his father, Gareth grew up lonely, prickly and well used to being disappointed. That is until he meets a charming stranger and he falls head over heels in love, until he's disappointed again. Then Gareth's father dies, and suddenly Gareth goes from a London clerk to Sir Gareth and in charge of a mansion in Romney Marsh and a family he doesn't know. Now the Marsh is another world completely. It's filled with danger and smugglers and it's a whole new world for Gareth, but there is a familiar face. Now the familiar face is Josh. Josh has been running his family's smuggling gang since he was a boy, the Doomsday Clan actually. And when his old lover decides that he's going to testify against Josh's sister, he has to act fast. Now the reunion is sweet, but there's so much involved that they don't know if this is really going to work and if this is actually going to end up being a happily ever after. I'm really looking forward to this book because it's a LGBT romance, with a gay romance in particular. It's an historical romance and I always love when we get to see more about the London Underground and the darker side of London. I think that's really interesting and it's just so interesting to read about, and I'm really interested to see how Josh gets his sister out of the predicament that his old lover has put them in, and I want to see how Gareth works around being around a family that he doesn't know and this whole new title that he has. So then on the 14th of March we have Love and Other Flight Delays by Denise Williams. This book consists of 3 short novellas, the first being The Love Connection. The Love Connection is about an airport groomer, which I've never heard of before, but an airport groomer who meets her frequent flyer crush and finds herself in a fake dating situation with a potential risk assessor who also moonlights as a romance author. Then the second novella is The Misconnection, which consists of 2 strangers who have a passionate one-night stand, only to discover months later that they are actual business rivals. Very awkward. They then have to embark on this extended business trip together in a fun grumpy meets sunshine trope. Then the final book is The Sweetest Connection, which happens to also be kind of my favourite because it's about 2 friends who have 1 week to find the owner of a lost love letter. And also they have that 1 week to finally confess their feelings for each other as one is moving away. That's really sweet. That sounds like such a cute read. Overall, I'm really looking forward to this book because it has so many different tropes and I always love books that consist of short stories as well. So in the first book, we have a fake dating situation, which we all know is one of my favorite types of situations to be in. I love fake dating tropes. It's so much fun and the angst and the drama that comes with it and the pretending, I just love it. Then in the second book we have a business rivals, again a great trope, an absolutely amazing plotline to have in a romance, very enjoyable, and also it says it has a bit of grumpy and sunshine as well, so that should be fun. Who doesn't love a grumpy and sunshine romance every now and again? I personally enjoy them. I think they're kind of cute. It's always fun to see the sunshiny person get on the grumpy person's nerves until they eventually warm up. I love that. It's just so cute. It's such like a cute little read. And finally, the final book has my favourite trope of all time, which is Friends to Lovers. So of course I'm going to be excited to read that. And Friends to Lovers means that there's also mutual pining, which is just so good to read. So much fun to read. It's so fun. Like honestly, mutual pining is very underrated as a trope. Like the whole reading both sides and realising that they both love each other and they both want each other. and you sitting there screaming, just freaking confess, please just confess, and they're still like, oh, but they will never want me. But them also thinking, oh, they'll never want me, I'm just a friend, and you're just like, no, they're in love with you. I just love it, honestly. So this book sounds amazing, and it's coming out on the 14th of March, so pre-order now. Then on the 16th of March, we have Strictly Friends by Frances Mensher Williams. Now, Strictly Friends focuses on Ruby Lamont. Now, Ruby Lamont realizes that it's time for her son to meet his father when she realizes that he's making up these elaborate stories of why his father's not around. Now, Ruby does not want to get back with her son's father. Like, he let her down once in the past. She doesn't want to go back there again. And it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, she has her best friend and chronic commitment phobe, Griffith, who's always been a father figure for her son Jake anyway. But my girl Ruby doesn't only want Jack to know his father, but also is like, I want some answers for why you ran away to begin with. When she meets Kenny, she's expecting there to be a fight, but instead she finds that he's changed. Or supposedly, like, he says he changed, but she's still on the fence about it, and I would be too. And just as Ruby begins to remember what she found so charming about Kenny to begin with, she then meets a gorgeous American portrait artist Mac, who seems very interested with her. Then you also have Griffin in the picture as well, so this is turning into a love square of some sort. So usually I'm not very interested in books like this because of the fact that I don't like love triangles. I generally don't like the whole which one will they pick in the end. But this book is different. For some reason I'm very interested in it. And I think the reason why I'm interested in it is because of the element of there being a conflict between her and the father of her child. And yeah, the conflict between the father of her child and why he left, and her falling back in love with him, but also the fact that she also may possibly have feelings for her best friend and this potentially new really fit guy that's like a portrait artist, an American. Like, it just sounds very interesting, and I think the main reason why I'm so interested in it is because I want to see her sort of navigate this very difficult situation with her son and the father of her child. And I really want to see whether or not she gets back with him as well, because that would be really interesting. There's so many different things that could possibly happen. Like, this could be a second chance where she decides that she's going to give Kenny a chance again, or she could go off with Griffin and be like, you know what, you've been there for me this entire time, you're my best friend, let's try and make this work. Or she could be like, you know what, I want to leave both of you in the past and I'm going to go off with this new American guy. There's so many different possibilities, and I think that's the reason why I'm so interested in it, because I honestly don't know where it's going to go, but it sounds very juicy. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of drama. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of angst as well, possibly. So yeah, this is why it's on my most anticipated releases in March. Then on the 16th of March, we have another release, Gothicana by Runix. Now, I've seen this book everywhere on TikTok. A lot of people have been talking about it. A lot of people have been waiting for its release, so I'm very interested. So this book follows Corvina Clem, who suddenly loses her mother and is kind of lost. She then receives an acceptance letter to the University of Vernon, which she thinks is a great opportunity and is a sign from the universe. But when she goes there, she finds that it's not what she expected. The university is filled with deceit and secrets and death. Then you have Vlad. Now, Vlad has been an enigma and his entire life and likes to be alone. He works as a professor part-time at the university, and he has been around long enough to know the dangers of this castle. Vlad knows that Corvina is a danger to everything that he is, and decides that he needs to stay far away from her. But an age-old mystery forces them together. People have disappeared every 5 years over the last 100 years, and Corvina is determined to figure out what is going wrong. So usually I don't particularly like the professor-student romances, but what really made me what really sold this book for me was the mystery of why people are disappearing every 5 years for the past 100 years and why no one has sort of tried to figure out what's happening before. I found that really interesting, and I do love mysteries like that. And like I said, this book has been all over my TikTok. Everyone has been going crazy over it, and apparently the writing in it is supposed to be really good, and this author's writing is really impressive and really good and is really interesting. So I'm excited for this book just because I'm really excited to see why everyone loves her writing, and to figure out why people are missing every 5 years. Like, is anyone else, why is no one sort of panicking over this? Then the last book on my list is The Build Up by Tati Richardson, which is coming out on the 28th of March. On the first day of work, I doesn't start it the way she's expected. Rumpled and ragged and just not looking her best is not the way she wanted to walk in on her first day. And it's even worse when a hot colleague walks in on her worst moment. Then when she doesn't believe it couldn't get any worse and she's just like, I cannot take any more hits, she finds out that they are working together on this amazing new project. Now this project is supposed to be her big comeback, but with her hot colleague it's going to be hard because, like I said, they're hot. Come on, like, this is a distraction and a half. Like, my girl is struggling. Then you have Porter, who's also excited for this new project because he wants to prove that he can do it. And he wants to prove that he can do it so he can get partnership on his firm. He's not going to let anything stand in his way. Not his unreliable brother, not his rival, and not Ari, who he can't help but noticing is fine. Though neither of them are looking for love, once their creative juices get flowing, they can't help but see a connection. Age-old story. I mean, I just don't understand why people are so quick to like fight the connection. Just let it go. Just give into the connection. Again, this book sounds, this is really, okay, there's so many elements of this book. Like I said, I really wanted to get more into work rivals this year. I really wanted to get more into reading about workplace romances, and this book just hits it. I really want to see if Ari and Porter get together, and I love the fact that they have a shared goal rather than going against each other. Like, usually when you see workplace romances, everyone likes to do work rivals, so it's kind of interesting to me that this time they're not work rivals, but they're working together for a shared goal of just winning. I appreciate that. Like, I actually really like that. I'm really, that like hits a certain spot. I don't know what, but it just hits for me. Like, I'm actually kind of excited for that. I want to see them work together, realize they like each other, realize that this may get in the way of their goal, and realize that they're, you know, they're worth it. Like, they're worth it for each other. Honestly, I cannot wait for the 20th of March and to finally read The Build Up, because this sounds lit. This sounds like it's going to be a really fun time. Then finally, here are some honorable mentions. First, we have Something Wild and Wonderful by Anita Kelly on the 7th of March. This is about Alexi and Ben, who are both doing the same trail. Alexi wants to be alone, but they can't seem to stop bumping into each other. This is an opposites attract LGBT romance. Then you have While You Were Dreaming by Alicia Ray, which comes out on the 21st of March on Kindle and the 31st of April on paperback. This is about a girl who saves a boy, the boy she has a crush on, whilst in a costume at Comic-Con, and everyone's now trying to find out who this amazing do-gooder is. But her sister's undocumented and she'd rather not have the spotlight on her family. Or her. Then on the 28th of March we have Hotel of Secret by Diane and Billa. This is a historical romance set around an heiress and an American foreign agent. Then on the 29th of March, but the 9th of May in paperback, we have Yours Truly, The Duke Say I Do by Amelia Gray. This is about a woman who needs to get married fast and a man who's willing to help her, but they can't help their attraction for each other. Then finally on the 30th of March, we have The Love Wager, which I have seen popping around on a lot of Instagrams. This is a woman who decides that she wants to start her life anew, especially after sneaking out of a hotel of a stranger, and joins a dating app, only to find the stranger she just snuck out the hotel room of. Okay, that is it. I hope you enjoyed the March Swoonworthy releases, and if there are any releases that I have missed, please let me know down in the comments, because there's no such thing as having too many books, right? I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next week for another Timeless Swoons video. Bye!